I decided to do a video today for the ministry page. So I got done with a long day of work. I had a whole bunch of stuff happen to me today I was going to talk about. So um, one of it is so when you walk with God, you will notice that people's demons will pop out at you. And I've seen this on other people's pages, other ministries, that type of thing. But so I had this experience today, okay? With this guy that I went to go look at a car for him, okay? And the dude, like, he just showed up and, like, he went, like, straight, like, pissed off, dude. Like, he looked like he was gonna try and kill me. I wasn't really afraid of him. It was just one of those things, okay? So, the dude went so far to insult me. And I did another video for my automotive page about this that was about this dude. He straight up told me in my face, he goes, do you actually know what you're doing? And he was slighting me and saying all these things to me, and it was really weird because it's one of the first times I've ever really had anybody say that to me. And I know what I'm doing, so I'm not worried about that. But the dude, his girlfriend was at the house, and I was waiting for him to get back with the keys and all that, and I'm just looking it over. And the dude, like, hopped out of the car with one of his buddies, and his buddy's actually one of my former customers, really good guy. And the guy with the keys, he, like, freaked out, dude. Like, he jumped out and, like, approached me, like, aggressively, like he was gonna try and fight me or something. It was really weird. And I saw this demon come out of the dude. It was really weird. This angry, just like light blue angry shit. It was really weird. All right. So he ended up going through all this and saying this and doing that. Are you gonna jack up the car? And, like, saying all these things. And I'm just like, dude, yeah, there's a hole in the transmission, dog. Like, come on, like, let's be real. All right. So people's demons will pop out at you. I noticed that about the town I'm in, that I'm not from here. So people, I've seen their demons pop out at me, and I walk with God pretty dang straight. Okay, so I follow. I backslide. Come on, I'm smoking cigars. People can say that I'm backsliding, that type of thing. Because honestly, I'm supposed to be on the gum. So once in a while, I'll pop a cigar open and smoke. So it's happened to me today. All right. When people's demons, they pop out at you, it's almost like they don't really, it's almost like a detachment from self, where you'll see it where they're not really themselves, and something comes forward in them that you don't really you understand it once you see it after a while, but at first you won't understand it. It'll be something that it pops out at you like it's the actual entity itself possessing the person. Like, it comes forward through their spirit or something. It's very strange. Okay, so with this dude, he, like, went crazy, and what it was started over, okay? And I don't like to talk about situations a lot, but I'm not gonna mention names, something like this, okay? But the woman, she handed me a drink, okay, and not like an alcoholic drink, just like a drink. It was hot outside today, like 80 degrees, 90 degrees, and she brought me a drink. I was looking over the car, but I was waiting for the dude with the keys, all right? And it was that drink that she handed me that he felt that it triggered this, like, demon to come forward, of like a possessive type demon, where this dude, he was like just angry. Like, he almost like was treating me like I slept with this girl. That's kind of like what it was like. But I'm not that type of dude to go school, and I'm just not that type of dude, okay? I've made my mistakes in the past before, and everybody learns from their mistakes, this and that, but I'm just not that type of dude, okay? So your stuff happened, alright? I saw this dude's demon come forward, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I've seen this before in this town, where I had a chick that I door dashed food to, okay? One night, I was just making some extra money, some gas after work and stuff. And this chick was, like, telling me to bring it on, and this and that. She wanted to, like, spiritually fight me, was, like, doing witchcraft on me and stuff. It was really, really weird, really weird experience. And I noticed that it was through an app. It was through DoorDash's messaging app. It was like the weirdest, strangest freaking thing I'd ever seen, man. It was really weird. I even have screenshots of it. It was really weird. I might include them in the video without a name and this and that, but it was very weird. I've had some people, and that was the first customer that's ever done that to me. And most of the other ones, it's like they just understand that I'm chill, I'm authentic, I'm gonna give you a low price, good rate, and parts are cheap, will get you going. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But this demon came out of this dude today, and so I kind of reflected on Footprints 1 and Footprints 2 and what I had read in the Bible, and I had seen a lot about demons that come forward in people, and they live in people's spirits almost. It's something that's like, if you haven't tapped into the divine and dealt with those demons, they will come forward at the person that walks with God. It's a very strange thing. But it's what I encourage you to do if you want to experience this is go read the Bible, and if you're a Christian, then great. If you're not, convert, read the Bible, think about and ask questions that are important about your own life, and repent for what you've done wrong, okay? You start reading the Bible every single day, you're going to go outside, you're going to see that people start treating you a little bit differently, okay? You're going to see that people's darkness jumps out at you. It's almost like the human spirit has a lamp in it, okay? But when there's no oil in that lamp, you will see these dark, almost entities come forward out of somebody that's been built and integrated into them over a long period of time, okay? So this dude has probably had this, and it was a demon of almost like insecurity, I think. I don't really know exactly what it was, okay? It was an insecure, kind of angry, like I don't really know what was going on, because the dude, he messaged me to look at the car. He didn't really mention that it was wrecked, like there were some things he left out, this and that, but it really wasn't a big deal. So this demon, I saw through him. I think these demons are formed from different seeds that are in people's minds that grow over a certain amount of time that they don't deal with, okay? So if you don't reach into the Bible and you don't get wisdom, you don't start understanding certain things and putting those good seeds in your mind, those dark seeds will take over. So there's a demon that's in that dude that comes forward, and it's a dark seed that's sprouted, okay? And that's a weird thing, is you can have dark seeds in your head where people put a dark seed in your head of fear or insecurity. I'm not really afraid of nothing like that. So this dude's demon just came forward, and I was like, hold on a second, you know what I mean? Like, this is very strange. But it was an example that I used today to figure it out a little bit better. So it was an example that I used today to figure it out a little bit better. So basically this dude's demon like rushed out at me, and I could not really, at first I could see it, but I couldn't see it. So like I've been seeing this over and over and over again in the town that I'm in, okay? And I don't really understand a lot of it until today, where I kind of went, oh, hold on a second. So if you see this come forward, it's an unchecked seed that has grown into this dark like bush almost. Like, it's very strange, and it almost permeates other people around them. Put this out. There was 2 other people that were around us, and they could not figure out what this dude's deal was. Like, he was just all over the place screaming at his chick. Like, there was just a lot going on. He was screaming at his girl. He was following the other dude around. He was checking me all the time. I couldn't really figure it out. That I was trying to really pinpoint it, you know what I mean? So it was really strange for me, but it was strange for everybody, I can imagine. It was a really uncomfortable experience. I'm sure it was uncomfortable for him as well. So it was kind of one of those, like, I didn't really understand that one very much, but I suppose it just happened, But something that I did see, I didn't like actively just start reciting scripture at the dude and trying to do some exorcism or something. Like, that's not how I'm playing. It was more of I saw this dude's unchecked seed, okay? This dude's unchecked seed of darkness was mixed with anger, insecurity, and a deeply rooted dark seed that permeated from the head to the chest. And that was something that it was really weird to kind of see that it was like a seed can be put in your mind, but over time you can feed it or let it grow, and it grows into a dark bush, which is the entity that comes forward. It's a really strange concept that I kind of witnessed today, that I'm trying to describe it the best I can, okay? So you'll see this with people when you walk with God. So here's an example is you'll see that people might get mad at you for like no reason, and there was absolutely no no reason for this dude to get mad at me. Like, there was no reason, dude. Like, he was off the chain. I didn't really understand what this dude's deal was. He was just tripping. So I've seen it before with certain people. So it's even been like, I've gone to like coffee shops and ordered a cup of coffee, and I've seen it like pop out of the coffee girl, which is a weird thing where she's just, you experience witchcraft, you experience that where people start doing it to you, and you just pop open the Bible and start reading, which is nice that there's Bible Gateway, stuff like that. So I experienced that with a barista not too long ago, where she was doing witchcraft and doing this, and I was like, hold on a second, like, you're casting mimics and weird stuff at me. It's like, what are you doing? Hold on a second, what are you doing? So I couldn't really figure out at that time what that was about. And I think that what that was as well was a seed that was put in her mind that if she gets rejected, that this demon comes forward, this angry demon that has to do these certain things to people because she has that insecure deep root. So, and I pray for the woman. I really hope that she deals with it, okay? And I noticed it, and I didn't really understand it at first. I was like, I'm used to dealing with witchcraft in this town. This is witchcraft central, dude. This place is crazy. So I dealt with it. I just popped open the Bible, started reading. Basically went beyond my day and just kept going. You know what I mean? So today though, with this dude and what happened, and it was a situation that wasn't like it was in public. It was at somebody's house and residence, working on somebody's car. There was no real reason for it to pop out, but it was weird because I've been in the Word, I've been reading, and you'll notice that sometimes it hits pretty fresh when you are in the Word and then you go out into the world. Okay, so you'll sit back in isolation and say you read Proverbs, you start understanding it, and instead of just reading it, you're really planting those seeds where you're like, okay, I'm remembering this, I'm taking lessons, or I'm applying what I see in the Bible here to what I've experienced in my past. And you go out and you see this, and this, and you'll see people's demons come forward out of them. Once you feed your light, you'll see that the darkness kind of pulls out of them, and you're like, hold on a second. And I haven't been as much in the Word as I usually am, because I've been working a lot. So like, I haven't been, I'm coming home and I'm sleeping. Right now it's 2 in the morning. I'm going to get a chicken fried steak because I'm freaking tired. I can't sleep. And it's mainly because of what happened to me today, that I've just been kind of ruminating over it and trying to figure this out. And so it's a very strange thing. And it made me check myself and go, okay, what kind of dark seeds do I have in my mind that might be a problem? And one of mine is anger from betrayal. It gets you and it brings something out of you, so you have to deal with that. I think that's why forgiveness is so important. But there can be seeds of insecurity that grow. Okay, so say somebody got cheated on, okay, and they end up going to a new spouse, like a new partner, and they're dating somebody new, and that person has like a group of friends, and there's a couple girls or guys that are in that group that show them specific attention. Not attention like, oh, I'm all over you and this and that, but just like they're close friends, okay? And it will trigger a seed of insecurity out of the other person that was cheated on or had this and this happen to them. And I think that's why people will break up over that type of stuff, where this person's too insecure, I can't handle them, because they didn't deal with the dark seed that eventually grew into something, and that entity came forward that has been permeating in their spirit for a long time. So that's kind of how I saw it, okay? It's a spiritual thing when you see it. Other people see it too, and it's something I think that when other people see it, they don't forget it, where they look at it and they're like, hold up a second, you know what I mean? Like, something just came out of that dude and like came out at you. And it was really weird, because it was almost like I looked over at the chick, which was the owner of the car, sweet girl. She seemed pretty cool. I didn't really have any she seemed pretty cool. She handed me a cup of water. I was cool with that. But it was almost like this dude, something had happened in this guy's past where somebody had cheated on him or really hurt him and did something, and he did not deal with the seed that person put in his mind. So put it in his mind, and it over time, that seed, if you put a seed of light in your mind, it will grow. So you put wisdom in mind, it'll grow. But if there's somebody that betrays you and puts a dark seed in your mind, it'll bloom into something dark. So you're like, hold on, there's a duality to it, you know what I mean? There's a duality to good seed and bad seed, and you start to see how that flourishes within people. So this is my tip for people, all right? So say somebody did cheat on you, okay? This is just coming from me, all right? So somebody cheated on you. You've been betrayed, you're pissed off about it, you're going through this, you start to date somebody new, and you immediately notice that I have this insecure feeling that this person's going to sleep around on me or do something like this, do something like that. You have to deal with that dark seed in your mind, and that's a hard thing to do. So forgiveness of what happened to you before is key. It's key, and it's something in the Bible that is pushed a lot, that you need to forgive other people. But a lot of people say, or the Bible says, you forgive people, and it's so God can forgive you, you know what I mean, for your sins too. So there's a duality to that, but it's also, once you forgive somebody for something like putting a dark seed in your mind, and you understand it and you're through it, read the Bible and remove them. Okay, so once you understand the seed of fear, and that's another one. Okay, so say somebody did something messed up to you, like tried to run you over or something like that, or something crazy, okay, it's out of this world. How do you deal with that seed so that you're not walking around always thinking that somebody's going to try and run you over in a parking lot or run you over somewhere? You're not having this. I think this is where you see therapy and you see the Bible kind of mash, okay, is where the Bible is a form of therapy, all right? So it's it's a treatment to dark seed. It's something, you could see it that way, okay? So somebody puts dark seeds in your mind, and if you read the Bible, you can pull those out and plant good seed in your mind. So instead of being angry and resentful and that demon coming forward, you have the wisdom planted there that you know what to look for. So say that this guy had no dark seed in there, and he dealt with it to a point where, okay, he got cheated on, but he understands that that situation won't repeat itself because he has wisdom, okay? What would have been wise, okay? Well, not to lash out at me and freak out and ask me if I know what I'm doing. And realistically, the dude asked me if I knew what I was doing because I was checking for a linkage being disconnected from a car. From the other side, there was a hole in the transmission from the other side, but I was checking to see if the accident itself had popped that linkage off, and the make and model of that year, it has a problem with the bushing in the linkage popping, just flying out on its own. So any jar like that could send that thing flying. And I don't know how much miles was on it. That really wasn't a big deal. The car was just part of it. What if he would have had that good seed in his mind? He wouldn't have popped off the chain like he did at me and his girl, and he wouldn't have been running around following around his coworker. So it was one of those things I had to sit back and think about. And while I was there, I didn't really think about it. I was more of like, dude, I gotta get out of here. This is weird. So, and what was kind of cool too was I followed him and his girlfriend back to an ATM to get me paid for a diagnostic. It wasn't much, and the dude did apologize to me, but he didn't say what he was apologizing for. But he apologized, and he thanked me for helping out, and was like, oh, I'm gonna try and fix it myself and try and patch this hole. And I was like, well, it's probably not the right idea, but to there's their own. It was mainly I think that seed was probably still in there where he wasn't really wanting me to fix it. He wanted to fix it it was something with the ego that was a problem, where I'm going to do everything I can to go against you fixing it, and I'm going to try and fix it even though it's not the right way to do it, and it's a newer car and it's not smart. You could get some of that JB Weld patch in the transmission and cause a huge issue. So regardless, it was an unchecked seed that permeated in his mind, and it dug into his spirit, and it was there. So you'll see this with people when you walk with God, when you read the Bible, when you start really doing it. Maybe it's also when you're picking up a ministry. So for me, this is simply something I experienced, and something that I felt like I just could not not explain it. So once you get betrayed, you need to figure out what seeds that person just dumped into your mind. Did they put the seed of fear in you? Did they put the seed of jealousy? Did they put the seed of an insecurity? And it can be a particular seed. Think about when you go to therapy, okay? You go to therapy to resolve a certain problem, and the person will talk to you about it and this and this and that. And so you can understand it a little bit, but if you get wisdom, it's the most important part. So reading the Bible is the most important part. If you don't do that, you're going to struggle a lot. You can go to therapy as many times as you want, and you'll still have that seed in there. The one thing that therapists will do too is they give you affirmations, okay? So they give you affirmations of, this won't happen again because this, I learned from it. Okay, you're understanding your problem a little bit, but you're not understanding it with the level of wisdom that you would need to remove that seed completely from your mind. So you may be able to keep it from permeating in your spirit more than it generally would, but if you were to read the Bible and figure that out and pull that seed out, then you wouldn't have to worry about it permeating in your spirit at all. So the Bible, reading Proverbs, reading Matthew, reading Genesis, reading these type of things and understanding humanity and how God orchestrated human beings and how the spiritual works is key to removing seeds from your mind, okay? So, and that's the one thing that the guy did not see from me, is he did not see the seed of fear from me. And, well, when I saw him kind of going light blue and running around and screaming at his girl, I just picked up the jack to my, or the jack handle to my floor jack, because it's like, well, if you do come at me, I'm going to have to, swat you away, do what I got to do. But it's, I don't play. So it is what it is. It's one of those things, man. So you're going to notice that, like, people's demons will pop out at you. You'll start to see what seeds are in other people's minds, but you can't just remove them, okay? You can teach people and tell them, hey, you have this here. And say I went up to that dude and said, you have the seed of insecurity in your mind. He would have flipped out, dog. He would have flipped out on me. And it's mainly you can try and awaken somebody to it, and that's kind of where you see the fools and the wise. Is a fool will reject correction. So if I were to tell them, hey, you have the seed of insecurity in your mind, you should probably go and read the Bible and do this, they're going to lunge off the chain at you and freak out on you. It's just how it is. So some people you can't help, but I've been trying to figure out, if I went through a situation like that again, okay, you can give people direction, but a lot of times they'll scoff at you and they'll be angry at you. So some people you really cannot give direction. Their demons will get worse. They'll come at you even worse. They might even try to lay hands on you, do that. So you sit back and watch the world, let God take care of it. Well, and I got a jack handle in my hand, and I can beat the crap out of you if I had to. But I mean, really, realistically, like, the dude didn't scare me, and he knew that he wasn't scaring me. I was there. I was more of looking at him like, dude, really, like, I'm here to fix your car. Like, I don't care about you. Your chick's over there. Like, it's not really a big deal. She handed me a glass of water. I'm waiting for you with the keys. It was one of those things that I think that maybe that dude might reflect on. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's normal for him. So you'll see a lot of people that maybe it's normal that they meet a guy or a girl that's walking with God, that's figuring out, pulling dark seeds out. They're, really in the light, and that type of thing happens. So it's like, oh. And the thing that was strange for me, and I wanted to talk about this, and it's along the lines of my ministry. It's not of Christian origin, but it's my native roots, okay? I had a friend of mine today who handed me a medicine bag, okay? And it was has some stuff in there for smudging. I don't generally do that too much. I more just read the Bible, but he handed me this medicine bag full of smudging. I don't know if it was sage or what it was. I didn't use it. I actually have it on me. Super cool guy. I love him, man. He's a native. He's a great guy. And I noticed that I had this weird spark of light on me after I accepted it. And after that, it was a weird divine thing when he handed that to me. And it was right before that happened, but I've been in the Word, before then, leading up to it. I'm not going to say I don't sin. I mean, we're all, we all have some sort of sin that we have to repent for. So for me, smoking cigars, I try and walk as straight as I possibly can. And that's just how I go. Because the straighter you walk, the more God will protect you. That's something that I kind of learned, is the straighter you walk in your life, the more God will protect you. So you don't really have to worry about something. So you see something like that, you don't pop off the chain and start swinging at him or screaming at him. You sit back and you get wise and you go, okay, how would a wise man deal with this? Well, basically kind of how I dealt with it was, you just sit back and look at him and kind of show them inadvertently, like, yo, like, you need to chill. You know what I mean? Like, you don't say it to him, you're going to chill. He's gonna, be pounding on the ground, jumping up and down, going crazy on me. But this is kind of how I saw it. It was like, what would a wise man do in that situation? And a lot of people say, okay, what would Jesus do? And that's an important thing to think about. Is Jesus would immediately forgive the man. Well, I know that much, but what would Jesus do? That's in that situation, only God knows. You know what I mean? So there's certain things like that only God knows. So it's you live by an example of how Jesus lived his life. So that's an important thing to also recognize. But you see it as, how could I handle this in the least foolish way possible? The most foolish way would have been me, picking up that jack handle and actually, swinging, hey, what's up? Let's go. That would have been an extremely foolish way for me to handle it. It would have escalated the situation. It would have probably caused that dude's demon to get worse. And that was something that I did realize, is there's a better chance of helping somebody with that situation by making a wise decision. So if I would have, pumped my chest up and be like, yo, what's up? And I got my back straight, chest is puffed, but I'm not sitting there like aggravating the situation. So that person has more of a chance of reflecting on what happened in the situation. The more calm you remain, and the more you kind of just trust God and let him deal with it. So you have to be aware. You do have to protect yourself out here, that type of stuff. But you also look at it and you're like, okay, there's certain things in life that I can't really control. I can't control this dude's seed that was put in his head 20 years ago that permeated through his spirit now, and it's grown into this entity that's just really rough. And maybe it sent him towards the Bible. And that could be something that you do see, is the more wise you handle a situation with someone's demon coming out at you, the more likely the chance that they're going to turn to the Word or repent or turn to God and ask a question and knock. So if you acted like a fool and you pumped up and went at him, it's going to feed his dark seed, and it's going to feed something in you too. So if you're wise and you handle that, and I don't have no seed of fear, no seed of insecurity, nothing like that. Like, I'm basically just kind of standing around like watching this dude pound the ground and get pissed. Like, it's the more wise you handle a situation, maybe it's contagious to people. Maybe me being wise in that situation made that guy a little bit more wise himself. Just the reflection on it. And that's something I'm wondering too, is does the person with the dark seed that is permeated into a bush afterwards reflect on it? I think that's true to an extent. Even if it's just a little bit. Say they didn't how do I say this? If they didn't reach into the Bible, or they didn't figure out what was going on there, maybe they questioned it enough that tomorrow is a little bit different than today was. So maybe if I saw that guy tomorrow, and say I went back out there to fix the car tomorrow, maybe that wouldn't happen. Maybe that wouldn't happen where that seed is checked. Where that's the first, maybe that's your way of helping somebody, is by being wise about it. And it's almost like you checked their seed, but they don't see it that, maybe they do see it that way. Like, he checked the demon that was in me, and so I have to reflect on it. There is a level of self-reflection. We're human beings, so something like that happens where a dude pops off the chain and goes crazy. He just saw his coworker and his partner, they just witnessed the thing, and I didn't really freak out. I was like, oh, okay, like, I don't. So it's kind of one of those things. Like, how can you not reflect on that when you go to work tomorrow, or when you go have dinner with your girlfriend the next night? Like, there's a period of reflection there that maybe I made a difference there by handling it the way I did. So it's one of those things, even if the guy doesn't call me, they don't call me back for the repair, which they may not. They may just kind of see that was really embarrassing, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. As long as, I did my job there, and I would handle the situation as wise as I could. I pray for the guy for sure. But I also, I got love for him, like, I was at a point where I had an unchecked seed in my head where I was pissed off, dude. Like, got cheated on. I got screwed over for child support that I shouldn't have been paying. Like, I went through a lot, so I had demons in me too. I had unchecked seeds in me, and I had to fight those. You know what I mean? So there's a level of where I see how I was, and I saw that, and I went, oh, okay, like I can relate to you a little bit. You know what I mean? But there was a decision and a path that I took that I don't think you've taken, and you may or may not take. But I understand it. So you understand the spiritual a little more when you deal with your own seeds and your own problems here, and you start to understand other seeds and other problems in other people. Kind of a weird thing, but it's true, okay? So that's kind of what I learned. So I might talk a little bit more. I'm gonna go get me a chicken fried steak. What's up, y'all? It's Lone Wolf. I know it looks like I just got pulled over by the police, but I promise you I didn't. All I did was eat my chicken fried steak. Got the police behind me. They're cuffing somebody, throwing them down. I don't know what's going on. Something happened. So, well, what can I tell you? All right. So, I'm pretty much through with my video. I just wanted to kind of go through that as one of my videos. I don't know which one I'm going to post first. I'm kind of throwing them all in a folder. So, until next time, Lone Wolf out. Peace.